All
Hi,
right.
Julie.
Hi, Nivi.
We're talking about jewelry, right? And what it can create.
I think it's really cool that we're on opposite sides of the world, and I'm in morning and you're in evening. And
Yeah,
um, how fun is that we can connect like this?
yeah. And also, I'm sitting in a place where it's a restaurant. It's called Fusion 9. And there are a lot of people here. Who knows? Although I'm with my headphones, we're in a
That's
place
cool.
where you're in India right now, via
Yeah.
Zoom or Facebook.
Yeah. So we're on Facebook and this is going to be on YouTube, and we're talking about the gift of wearing jewelry. And I've been a jewelry designer for over 30 years. And even when I was a little girl, I used to love trying on jewelry and wearing big sparkly rings. I wore a couple sparkly rings today. Um, and it's interesting to me that not everybody likes to wear jewelry, or people have points of view about jewelry, or what's good or what's too much, or you can't mix metals, or there's so many points of view that keep you from having the joy of wearing pieces.
Yeah. For a long time, I was allergic to gold.
Really?
Like, I would wear gold and I would develop the allergy. I did a lot of clearing work. And after one session, it was like gone. Like, I realized that I wasn't receiving from Earth, I wasn't receiving who I am. And it kindly directly worked on my receiving.
It's
And
so
now,
true.
and now I have so many.
Yes. I think it's really interesting. People are like, no, I can't wear earrings because they get infected. And it's like, well, what are you putting in there? And sometimes it's, something that's not gold. And so that can create some irritation. But when people are allergic to gold, you'd think that you can't change that.
Yeah.
But it's it's obviously in your case you can, and I've known many people who had a similar thing, and we ran some clearings and it changed like that, which is really cool.
What could be one possible clearing for the gold? Are
Well,
we thinking?
you might ask, like, well, what are your points of view about gold? And a lot of people like think, oh, well, it's going to get stolen, or, I don't want to look like one of those people, or it's gaudy, or, I only wear silver because whatever. It's all points of view because our bodies actually really enjoy gold.
Yeah. And I realized also that I was rejecting gold because it meant that my grandfather has passed on some gold to my mother, and then my mother, and then there was this whole, she was not supported by her father. So I was like rejecting him. How could you not support your daughter? And in that process, I was rejecting gold. That was what occurred. When I realized that, today I wear the jewelry that he's given, and I also carry it as a 10% honoring of me. Like, I carry gold
Hmm.
in my purse, like not just cash, but
Hmm.
also the gold,
A gold
the
coin.
jewelry. Not a gold coin, it's jewelry. Like,
Oh,
I can
gold jewelry.
anywhere, like, wear a necklace and earrings, and I
Mhm.
can go to a wedding for that. Like,
Yes,
yeah,
be prepared.
yeah,
Yeah, somebody's saying she never thought about points of view about gold. And it's true. When I had a boutique for many years, people would walk in and they'd go right over to the little silver section. And it's funny because when they first walk in, I get this download of what would be a contribution for them. And I'd see a piece in my head and I'd be like, oh, would you like to just try this on just for fun? And they're like, no, no, I don't wear gold. I don't like gold. And their whole coloring would look amazing with gold, besides the fact that the energy of
Yeah.
gold would be a contribution. And then they'd try it and they'd go, oh my God, I had no idea. It was just so cool to watch the shift. And oftentimes what comes up is not words, like you were saying this morning, you know, getting the congruency of the words. Sometimes it's just an energy, and it could be that, you know, if you grew up in the 60s or 70s, gold jewelry was a certain look, and a lot of people decided, I don't like gold because I don't like the style of it. But there's so many different ways that you can wear gold or find different styles. And, you know, why
I
limit it?
saw the little video that you made with the jewelry reading
Mm-hmm.
recently.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that a little clip of a video that how'd you do that? Like, what is the usual way that you go about it?
Doing a gemstone reading?
Mhm.
Yeah, well, people can come in person or we can do a Zoom like this. And um, it depends on what it is that they're looking for. People, whether they know it or not, are looking for something, whatever that next step is. And so I ask some questions to get them to energetically at least look at that so that I can tap in. And then I start to get these awarenesses of the gemstones and the metal that would contribute to them having that. And I put together a piece. It's really fun.
Yeah, I saw it how you were twisting that piece and it was like a big neck piece and she wore it.
Yeah.
It was so beautiful.
Yeah. It's so fun because they all come out different. It's, you know, it's like us, we're all different.
Yeah.
And, you know, why get the same? Oh my God, so many people get the same thing, like the on trend thing, which is fine, but don't you want something unique?
Yeah.
I do. So I'm wearing a unique piece today. This is my healing goddess necklace, and it's got a lot of turquoise and other stones that contribute to wellness and healing. And I just picked it out mostly because this ring spoke to me today. This is a turquoise with pave diamonds, and it was actually an old pendant that I had turned into a ring because I wanted to look at it instead of wearing it up here where
Yeah.
I would see it. And
Yeah.
this was like, I want to be worn today. And my body was like, yes.
It's looking very pretty. Like I'm a very ring person. I
Yes.
like ring.
And I'm going to tango class afterwards. And in tango, you hold your hand like this. And so I get to see
Yeah.
my ring as I'm dancing. It's fun. Anyway, we wanted to pop on here if anybody has questions. I've got the Facebook thing open too. A lot of points of view about gold. Yeah. And you know, for those of you that have points of view about gold, I just wonder, look at your financial reality. Do you have this wealth of abundance, or do you have like limitations to it? Do you feel a little boxed in? And this is what we're going to start with in next week's call. We're doing a Zoom, the gift of wearing jewelry. And it's just I don't know, about an hour. But
Yeah.
we can get pretty deep pretty quickly. And whatever questions come up, like most access classes, um, it will facilitate the whole group and you'll go much further than you think.
I have a question.
Yeah,
Like wedding bands, if it's okay to talk about wedding bands.
sure.
In India, we have something called the black beads. That or during the wedding ceremony in India, they like put some red vermilion and then they put a necklace which has
Mhm.
got black beads in it. or in US or any other places, or a Christian wedding, they have the wedding bands. And what pops up when we were discussing this is the relationship and jewelry, and relationship with jewelry, which contributes to relationships. Is there
Mm,
something you'd like to talk about that?
mm. Wow. I mean, think about it. Relationships and relationships with jewelry. Have you ever received a piece that was maybe from a different generation in your family and you didn't like it, but you had to keep
Yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah, of
And
course.
and all of the guilt and the blame and the upset and the shame and everything that that brings up. And then you have the piece and you're keeping it there. Oh,
Yeah, I'm not wearing it.
right. Well, okay, everybody, this, I've got to run a clearing because there's too much energy on that. Must be a lot of people who have that. So I'm using the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement just to clear out some of those points of view. So everything that that has brought up, will you destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. Whew, and you can start to feel like it starts to dissipate, which is kind of cool. And if you want to know what all those crazy acronym words were, there's theclearingstatement.com explains it. And also on my YouTube channel, I have it broken down into a couple of short videos. So go check it out. Yeah. One of my favorite things to do is reincarnation of jewelry, where you get something that you don't like the style of it, but you know, gold is over $2,000 an ounce now, which is, you know, quite valuable. So you can repurpose the gold, you can reset the stones, you can turn it into something that you would love and like still have the sentimental part that you like and have something that you'd like to actually wear. So what if you didn't have to receive things just as they are? You could take the energy of it and change it and make it work for you. And that's the same with everything. The way people um, speak with you, interact with you, the way you interact with other things. What if you didn't have to take it the way it shows up? You can melt and change it and actually use that energy, not reject it.
Yeah. Once, if it's okay to share an experience, there
Please.
was some gemstones were embedded in aquarium rocks. Like there was a guy who was selling fish stone, like fish aquarium stones, and I was driving past and I could see like laser beam lights,
Wow.
and it was like, stop, we want to come with you, like, and I was like, I I was a little surprised when I went back. I found really cute, like the lapis in the fish stones.
Mm.
And it was like, I'm a gratitude rock and I need to go places, I need to heal people. And I was like, okay, am I just imagining this? And then I said, okay, fine, and you come with me. And a bunch of others came along, and there was this whole situation where they said, we need to go to a particular hotel, and we need to set up, and people will come and we will heal them and stuff. I was like, I don't own the hotel and I'm not going to get an invite. I don't know anybody who knows me from that. And few minutes later, I do get a call saying you have been invited to put up a stall in that place. The kiss of it all. And I was like, wow, like, how does this work? Like, so I went, long story short, there was this incident where there was my midwife who was also running a stall in that place. And
Mm.
she happened to come. And the moment she came, that stone kind of like lighted up,
Mm-hmm.
and there was an apparition like of a boy standing there. And I was like, back then I didn't know about the entities and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So then the lady hugs me and she says, it reminds me of my son. And then there's that energy of the son says, I need to go. She needs to let me go. And I
Yep.
was like, it was so surreal. And then I said, this is what the boy is saying. And she turns and she could see him too. I thought up until then I was visualizing things, but the moment she turned around, she said, I can see him. And the moment they kind of processed it, felt and released it completely, and the boy was able to go, um, the, that was, she said she's going to take that piece and she would go home. I mean, that is the gift of that lapis that I saw and experienced.
That's
So when you
amazing. I
told me
love that.
about this,
Yeah.
I was like, how many gemstones that we wear have its own story, its own life purpose? That they want to go ahead and do something, and we are changing hands by buying them and selling them. How they make the journey, right?
It's true. And when you have that sense of like being attracted to something, a gemstone, not necessarily a person, but a gemstone, it will contribute to you. So you
Yeah,
can invest in it. Ask it, will you make me money if I buy you?
yeah,
And do
yeah,
you want to come with me? And do you want to be mine or do you want to be somebody else's? And sometimes it's carrying it until the other person shows up in your life, which is
yeah.
really
I've
cool.
I've had an experience with the mother of pearl rose that they carve, and
Mhm.
they create a lot.
Mhm.
They just create a lot, and with that, it's as if it's a lesson that how you can release your point of views very easily when you work with it.
It is so true. And when you're willing to wear the pieces and not just have them sit on top of you, but actually let the energy of them sink in and be in your world, it creates a shift and it creates something different.
Yeah.
So if any of you are interested, I would love for you to come and play next week.
Yes. And thank you for being that person in this world who does play with jewelry. And you have been
It's
that pink
definitely
energy in
been,
my life for a
it's
long
been
time.
my, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's funny, it's been my whole life. I've
Yeah.
always tried on things and thought it was like super fun to wear big sparkly gemstone pieces. And I thought everybody did.
Yeah.
But oops, no. So didn't we have a special for people?
Yeah. So I think the first three people who I think you're
10.
going to give the codes, right? 10?
Yes. We
Okay.
have
The first 10
10.
people who try, they get a different code. I think it's going to be there. Like as you buy the tickets to the class, the first 10 people get a percentage and then a higher percentage uh, bonus. And as we go further, it's as for the tickets, right? The first come first, then goes on. So you're going to have that link in your website, right?
Yes. But we need to tell people what the code is.
Okay.
So the first
You have the
10
code.
people to choose this can get 15% off. And the code, and I'll put it in the text here as well, but it's GRP, like group GRP1, and you get 15%. And the first 10 tickets, it will take that off. And then if you're past that, we're doing 10 tickets at 10% off. So there'll be GRP2. So get together with your friends and listen to it together as a group.
Yeah. And also, I think it's about the choice and how fast or how 10-second choice we are in, getting in presence with the question. I think that's what we discussed, right, when we were talking about this.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
like, there were times when I would make a choice and instantly be led by the energy that takes me faster into a space of more clarity
Mhm.
versus I think I make that choice and then there's a a point of view, then I kind of pause and process it and then go. The energy is kind of a little more lull than that. So that was what we discussed when we spoke
Yeah.
about this
Yeah.
thing.
As we're wrapping up, I'm just recalling this lady that I met in Costa Rica a long time ago, and she couldn't have any metal. She couldn't even eat off of silverware that was silver
Okay.
because she was so allergic. And she loved my jewelry, but she said, I can't wear jewelry because I break out in hives. And I thought, wow, that's so interesting. Like, what's that about? And I did facilitate her a bit, and she ended up buying a bracelet, and then she was able to eat off of forks and, real silver.
Oh,
And she went home. I think she lived in the Netherlands or something like that. And she ended up ordering a few more pieces to sell in her yoga studio. And she was just like so grateful. It changed her life. And so I just invite anybody, you don't have to have ever taken an access class. It's not about access, it's more about receiving the wealth that the earth gifts us and how that can change your life.
I'm carrying a piece of wood.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see who shows up and what we can change and what we can all open up to. I think I
Thank you
was
so much.
born for this.
Yeah, thank you so much for being you and doing this. Yeah.
Thank you. And we will see you guys next week, I hope.
You in class. See you in person, online, anywhere.
Yep. Okay. Take
Bye.
care. Bye. Mwah.